Hello and welcome to another edition of the Dhabas of Democracy, our election road trip that began in Kanyakumari and is headed to the north in Kashmir. At the moment, we are in a hot and dusty corner of Uttar Pradesh, just on the outskirts of Lucknow. And while we're here, and there's a lot happening politically on the ground, a lot of action seems to be unfolding in the national capital as well. I'm Barkha Dutt, you're with the Mojo Story. We finally have an account of what happened to Swati Maliwal, the Aam Aadmi Party Member of Parliament and also the former head of the Delhi Women's Commission, from Swati Maliwal herself. An FIR that she has filed against a close aide of Arvind Kejriwal, the Chief Minister of Delhi, Bibhav Kumar, makes for harrowing reading. Ms. Maliwal has alleged assault and described it in graphic detail. She's spoken about being brutally dragged as her shirt was deliberately pulled up. She's spoken about being slapped multiple times. She's spoken about being hit on her chest and in her pelvis area. Swati Maliwal went to the All India Medical Institute late last night for a medical checkup as well, and she recorded her statement before a local court in Delhi. For the Aam Aadmi Party, whose chief minister is out on bail for just 21 days, this has proved to be a major embarrassment. Sanjay Singh of the Aam Aadmi Party initially did concede at a press meet that what had happened with Swati Maliwal was very unfortunate. Remember, as we see images of the Prajwal Revanna case, which actually is about sexual abuse and harassment, when we look at Brij Bhushan, this is only one in a series of horrible acts of abuse and alleged abuse that have taken place against women. But when we come back to the Swati Maliwal case and look at both what's happened to Miss Maliwal allegedly and how the Aam Aadmi Party has handled it, we're here to talk both about the gender rights dimension of it, the quest for justice that every woman is entitled to, women of Manipur as well, but also we're looking at the politics of it, because the Aam Aadmi Party seems to have changed its position on it. In fact, today a video surfaced, a video that was filmed obviously covertly at the Chief Minister's residence. In that video, Swati Maliwal can be heard shouting and mildly cursing the man she has accused of assault. In fact, she says at one point, Ganja Sala, to somebody who's not on camera, saying that she will make sure that he can never work again. The Aam Aadmi Party has officially endorsed this video and has suggested that it is challenging Ms. Maliwal's account of events after first actually conceding that something terrible had taken place. To look at these very unfortunate developments, let's introduce our panel today. The Aam Aadmi Party, we believe, will also be having a press conference shortly, and we'll try and cut to that live as well. We're joined by Abha Singh, rights activist and lawyer. Welcome to the program. Abha is one of those who have been urging Swati Maliwal to speak, and now she has finally spoken. We're also joined on the program by Ravi ji. Let's welcome Ravi Srivastava. He's a political analyst. He's been defending the Aam Aadmi Party on social media. Abhijit Iyer, who is a well-known analyst, is with us. Namaskar, Abhijit. And Abhijit, on his Twitter feed, has shared the harrowing FIR, but has also shared the video that I spoke about that is now officially backed on its Twitter feed by the Aam Aadmi Party. So they're basically validating or in a way putting their weight behind that video. Also joining us is Zakia Sonam. She's a well-known rights activist. She led the fight for the end of triple talaq. Welcome to the program, Zakia. And we're also joined by Shubhrashtra. Shubhrashtra, earlier on our program, when talking about Prajwal Revanna, said she didn't care which party he belonged to. He happens to be in alliance with BJP in Karnataka. Such a man had no place in public life. So I remember those words by Shubhrashtra. And I want to start by quick first comments from all of you. Because as I said, the Aam Aadmi Party appears to have changed its position. I'm just waiting for my producers to confirm to me whether the press conference has started. Let's get first comments. I'll start with you, Abha. Oh, it is live. So actually, let's just dip in first. And are we ready to dip in? Let me get first comments, and we can you can confirm to me whether it's actually live, and we're ready to just hear a bit of it before we take first comments. I really do need that confirmation. Okay, let's have the sound up. Atishi is doing the press conference.
अपॉइंटमेंट लिए मुख्यमंत्री आवास पहुंची। उनका इरादा था कि मुख्यमंत्री पर आरोप लगाया जाए, लेकिन मुख्यमंत्री जी उस समय अवेलेबल नहीं थे, उपलब्ध नहीं थे इसलिए वो बच गए। फिर स्वाति मालीवाल जी ने विभव कुमार पर आरोप लगाए, लेकिन आज एक वीडियो सामने आया है, मुख्यमंत्री आवास के ड्राइंग रूम का वीडियो सामने आया है, और उस वीडियो ने स्वाति मालीवाल जी के झूठ को पूरे देश के सामने रख दिया है। स्वाति मालीवाल जी ने जो कंप्लेंट करी थी, ये दिल्ली पुलिस को की गई उनकी FIR, और उस FIR में शामिल फैक्ट शीट है। उस कंप्लेंट में स्वाति मालीवाल जी कहती हैं कि उनकी बेरहमी से मार पिटाई हुई, उन पर मुक्के मारे गए, घूंसे मारे गए, कि उनके सिर पर चोट लगी, कि वो उस पिटाई के बाद दर्द में कराह रही थी, उनसे बोला नहीं जा रहा था, वो पुलिस को बार बार कह रही थी कि मुझे मारा गया, मुझे पीटा गया। उन्होंने अपनी कंप्लेंट में लिखा है कि उनका सर टेबल पे लगा और उनका सर फट गया। उन्होंने लिखा है कि उनके कपड़े फाड़े गए, उनकी शर्ट के बटन फाड़े गए। ये सब कुछ स्वाति मालीवाल जी ने अपने आरोपों में कहा है, लेकिन जो आज वीडियो सामने आया है वो बिल्कुल इसके विपरीत सच्चाई दिखाता है। स्वाति मालीवाल जी उस ड्राइंग रूम में बहुत आराम से बैठी हुई हैं। वो पुलिस कर्मियों को ऊंची आवाज में डरा रही हैं, धमका रही हैं। विभव कुमार जी पर जिस पर उन्होंने आरोप लगाया है, ऊंची आवाज में उनको भी धमका रही हैं, उनके लिए अपशब्दों का प्रयोग कर रही हैं। उनके कपड़े फटे हुए नहीं हैं, किसी भी प्रकार से उनके सर पर चोट नहीं दिख रही है। सिर्फ एक चीज दिख रही है कि वो पुलिस को धमका रही हैं, वो विभव कुमार जी को धमका रही हैं, ऊंची आवाज में धमका रही हैं, और कहीं पर भी वो इस बात का जिक्र तक नहीं करती कि किसी ने उनको छुआ है या किसी ने उन पर हमला किया। तो आज के इस वीडियो ने साफ साफ देश के सामने रख दिया है कि स्वाति मालीवाल जी द्वारा लगाए गए ये सारे आरोप बिल्कुल निराधार हैं, बिल्कुल झूठे। विभव कुमार जी ने आज दिल्ली पुलिस के पास स्वाति मालीवाल जी के खिलाफ अपनी कंप्लेंट दर्ज की है, और उस कंप्लेंट में उन्होंने 13 मई को हुए सीक्वेंस ऑफ इवेंट्स को बहुत स्पष्ट तौर से रखा है। 13 मई की सुबह स्वाति मालीवाल जी बिना किसी अपॉइंटमेंट के CM आवास पहुंची। जब उन्हें सिक्योरिटी द्वारा गेट पर पूछा गया, उनकी आइडेंटिटी पूछी गई, वो किस लिए आई हैं पूछा गया, तो उन्होंने बताया कि मेरा मुख्यमंत्री जी के साथ अपॉइंटमेंट है। जब सिक्योरिटी गार्ड्स ने ऑफिस में क्रॉस चेक किया तो उन्हें पता चला कि कोई अपॉइंटमेंट नहीं है, और स्वाति मालीवाल जी को गेट पर रोका गया। लेकिन वहां पर भी उन्होंने पुलिस वालों को धमकाया, कहा कि मैं राज्यसभा की सांसद हूं, मुझे रोकोगे तो मेरे पास पावर है तुम्हारी नौकरी ले लेने की। और वो पुलिस वालों से झगड़ा कर और वो CM आवास में, जो CM रेजिडेंस का कैंपस है, उसके अंदर घुस गए। सिक्योरिटी उन्होंने फिर से कहा कि आपके पास अपॉइंटमेंट नहीं है, आप CM आवास में नहीं जा सकती हैं, और वो उन्हें CM रेजिडेंस के वेटिंग रूम में, जो वेटिंग रूम CM के रेजिडेंस के मेन बिल्डिंग जहां पे वो रहते हैं उससे बाहर है, वहां पर लेके गए, वहां पर बैठाया। उनको फिर से बताया गया आपके पास अपॉइंटमेंट आज नहीं है। वेटिंग रूम में बैठने के कुछ देर बाद वो जोर जबरदस्ती कर CM रेजिडेंस के मेन बिल्डिंग में, जहां पर मुख्यमंत्री और उनका परिवार रहता है, उस बिल्डिंग के अंदर घुस गई और वहां पर ड्राइंग रूम में जाकर बैठ गई। वहां पर उन्होंने कहा कि CM को बुलाओ, अभी बुलाओ, मुझे अभी मिलना है। अब आप मुझे बताइए, स्वाति मालीवाल जी राज्यसभा की सांसद हैं, क्या उन्हें पता नहीं है कि मुख्यमंत्री से अपॉइंटमेंट लेने का क्या तरीका होता है? क्या उन्हें पता नहीं है कि मुख्यमंत्री की कई शेड्यूल बिजी होते हैं, जरूरी नहीं है कि वो उपलब्ध हो? तो फिर क्या कारण था जो वो सुबह सुबह बिना अपॉइंटमेंट के जोर जबरदस्ती करके मुख्यमंत्री आवास के अंदर घुस गई और बैठ गई और सीएम से मिलने के लिए जबरदस्ती कर रही थी? तब सीएम रेजिडेंस के स्टाफ ने विभव कुमार जी को फोन किया। 10-15 मिनट बाद विभव कुमार जी आए। उन्होंने स्वाति मालीवाल जी को ड्राइंग रूम में बताया कि आज मुख्यमंत्री जी अवेलेबल नहीं है, वो मिल नहीं पाएंगे। उसके बाद स्वाति मालीवाल जी ने विभव कुमार जी से ऊंची आवाज में बहस करनी शुरू कर दी। उन्होंने कोशिश करी कि वो ड्राइंग रूम से निकलकर घर के अंदर के हिस्सों में जाने की कोशिश करें। विभव कुमार जी उनके सामने खड़े हो गए और स्वाति जी को अंदर नहीं जाने दिया। स्वाति जी ने उनको धक्का देने की कोशिश की, परंतु विभव जी फिर भी वहां पे खड़े रहे। उन्होंने स्वाति मालीवाल जी को अंदर नहीं जाने दिया। फिर विभव कुमार जी बाहर आए और उन्होंने सीएम ऑफिस के सिक्योरिटी स्टाफ को बुलाया और उनको कहा कि वो स्वाति मालीवाल जी को बाहर एस्कॉर्ट करें। इस पूरे घटनाक्रम से एक चीज साबित होती है कि ये एक षड्यंत्र था, भारतीय जनता पार्टी द्वारा सोचा गया षड्यंत्र था। स्वाति मालीवाल जी को इस षड्यंत्र का चेहरा बनाया गया। मुख्यमंत्री जी को फंसाने का इरादा था। तभी सुबह सुबह जोर जबरदस्ती से मुख्यमंत्री आवास में घुस के मुख्यमंत्री जी से मिलने की जबरदस्ती की जा रही थी। ये इस बात से भी साबित हो रहा है कि स्वाति मालीवाल जी मुख्यमंत्री आवास से पुलिस थाने गई। पुलिस ने उन्हें एमएलसी कराने को कहा, लेकिन उन्होंने एमएलसी कराने से मना कर दिया। फिर 3 दिन बाद भारतीय जनता पार्टी फिर से एक नए झूठ के साथ स्वाति मालीवाल जी को सामने लेकर आई। लेकिन यह पूरा प्रकरण, आज जो वीडियो सामने आया है, जिस प्रकार से स्वाति मालीवाल जी पुलिस वालों को धमका रही हैं, विभव कुमार जी को धमका रही हैं, जिस प्रकार से सोफे पर बैठी हुई हैं, जिस प्रकार से ये स्पष्ट है कि वो उनके साथ वीडियो देखकर साफ पता चल रहा है कि वो आराम से बैठी हुई हैं, ना दर्द में कराह रही हैं, ना उनके कपड़े फटे हुए हैं, ना उनके सर पर चोट लगी हुई है। तो ये पूरा वीडियो स्वाति मालीवाल जी के झूठ को सामने लेकर आता है।
Okay, I think we can come out of this now. I think we
को साफ कर देता है।
So we've heard the Aam Aadmi Party, I hope you can all hear me, we've heard the Aam Aadmi Party do a complete turnaround on its earlier position. They've effectively accused Swati Maliwal of telling a lie, and they've referenced the viral video that we were talking about earlier in the introduction to say that she has clearly lied. Now, as I was saying earlier, Sanjay Singh of the Aam Aadmi Party initially had taken a very different position. Let's start getting reactions. We'll play the necessary clips later, but let's start getting reactions. Abha, I'll start with you.
You know, what the party spokesperson is saying, there is truth in that, because Swati Maliwal did go to DCP North office on 13th, but did not give an FIR. Number one. Number two, without appointment, she wanted to push herself inside the house. That is second. Third, the cops were very decent to her, and she was they were telling her, "You please wait," and she says, "मैं आपकी नौकरी ले लूंगी." So this clearly shows that she had gone with a hidden agenda. What that agenda was, it is necessary that the police does investigate, and now for Delhi police, it is not an easy job. They have to work neutral. They cannot be under pressure of the present government or any government, because if she was badly injured, then on the 13th itself, the police officer she met will have to say, was there any blood? Why she did not do a medical on 13th? Why she went for a medical on the 15th? Were there any bruises on her? So definitely now this is not so simple as it appears. They have put charges like 308 of the IPC, that is attempt to culpable homicide. I mean, such brazen charges have been put in the charge sheet. So definitely it is not, everything is clear. Swati Maliwal did go with an hidden agenda. That is what I think.
But Abha, can we just try and get that noise at the back of reduced? Abha, before I open this up, can you please tell me why Sanjay Singh took a different position earlier? Because he did do a press conference, and let me play out that clip. Let's take a look at what Sanjay Singh said initially when he conceded that something very unfortunate had taken place. Take a look.
कल सुबह अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के आवास पर स्वाति मालीवाल जी मिलने के लिए पहुंची थी, ड्राइंग रूम में इंतजार कर रही थी। इस बीच विभव कुमार जी वहां पे आते हैं और उन्होंने स्वाति मालीवाल जी के साथ बहुत बदतमीजी की, अभद्रता की। इस पूरे मामले की जानकारी 112 नंबर पे कॉल करके स्वाति मालीवाल जी ने पुलिस को दी। इस घटना की जितनी निंदा की जाए कम है। अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने पूरी घटना को संज्ञान में लिया है और इस पूरे मामले में सख्त कार्रवाई करने को कहा है।
So here's my point. Let's open this up now. Today, the Aam Aadmi Party has made a case saying Swati Maliwal has made an allegation that is false. But Sanjay Singh, a senior leader of the Aam Aadmi Party, made a very, very different allegation earlier. Shubhrashtra, what do you make of that?
Barkha, I'm very clear on this. I will definitely stand with the woman in question. And till the time the Aam Aadmi Party does not come on 2-3 counts, I don't think any of their versions should be taken very seriously. Firstly, when Atishi says that there's something cooking between the BJP and Swati Maliwal, I want to ask her, when did the ingredients of this recipe, when did they start to be brought up in the kitchen? Because last I checked, in the whole Manipur case, it was Swati Maliwal who actually went perhaps reaching her line of work, and she took a position on that. So was Swati Maliwal, is Atishi trying to say that Swati Maliwal was hands and glove with the BJP since then? When did the split happen? Why is the split happening in the very first place? Or is it because Arvind Kejriwal's corruption has actually polarized opinion inside the Aam Aadmi Party, and there might be certain individuals, certain politicians. I'm not going to say they are morally upright. I'm just going to say that maybe some politicians are uncomfortable dealing with a man who has who has corruption on his agenda. Also, please let's remember that this guy Bibhav is a serial offender. If I remember correctly, in the past also there have been serious allegations against him by a senior bureaucrat. So it's not like we are dealing with an individual with an absolutely clean track record. And why, as a woman, why will I not stand with another woman? And she's not an ordinary woman in that sense. She has been a Rajya Sabha MP. She has represented DCW. And there has to be a reason why Swati Maliwal is taking such a politically grave position. I'm sure with the kind of narrative that the opposition has perhaps successfully tried to build, Swati Maliwal could have just gone in the quote-unquote BJP's washing machine to come out clean as it is. Why did she have to do so much of drama? These are questions that not Swati Maliwal, but Aam Aadmi Party's either spokespersons or people who sympathize with Aam Aadmi Party need to make clear.
So I think that's an interesting point, because Swati Maliwal in her tweet actually said that she did not want the BJP to politicize the issue. When she finally broke her silence, that was one of the things that she did say. But the Aam Aadmi Party has based its entire response today, calling Swati Maliwal effectively a liar, on one viral video that initially was leaked. It just surfaced online and has now been owned by the Aam Aadmi Party. Let's take a look at this video, and then I'm going to come to Abhijit, Zakia, and to Ravi. Take a look.
I will do it. आज मैं इन लोगों को सबको बताऊं।
हाँ बता लेना, वो आपका आइडिया है।
आप मेरे को डीसीपी से बात करेंगे अभी
करा रहे हैं। आप आइए, आप आइए ना।
नहीं, मैं एसएचओ सिविल लाइन से बात करूंगी पहले।
नहीं हम यहाँ नहीं कर सकते।
नहीं, अब यही होगा, जो करना है करो, और तुम्हारी भी नौकरी खाऊंगी अगर मेरे को टच करो।
तो तो सभी तो कह रहे हैं
हाँ, तो इसलिए कह रहे हैं ना।
हम बड़ी रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं।
मैंने अभी 112 पे कॉल कर दिया, लेट द पुलिस कम, उसके बाद मैं बात करूँ।
तो पुलिस भी तो बाहर आएगी, वो यहाँ तक नहीं आएगी ना।
नहीं, कुछ नहीं होता, अब अंदर ही आएगी जो
प्लीज
होगा।
प्लीज कम विद मी, प्लीज
मैडम बाहर चलो।
हेलो मैडम प्लीज।
उठा के फेंक दो, उठा के फेंक।
हम रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं आपसे, हम तो रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं।
आज फेंक दो, आज
आप पढ़े लिखे लोग हैं,
हम
आपके साथ ऐसा थोड़ा
ये
करेंगे।
गंजा
प्लीज आप मैडम प्लीज आप ऐसा ना बोलें।
जस्ट बिकॉज योर
क्योंकि आपसे
CCTV
जैसे
कैमरा।
बोलेगा।
So we beeped it, but she's actually saying ganja sala and मैं तुम्हारी नौकरी ले लूंगी. Swati Maliwal has called this a hit job. She said that this is a video distorted, edited, done without context. I'm just quoting her by a political hitman. I was going to go to Zakia, but Shubhrashtra, very quickly.
Yeah, 2 points, Barkha. I'm not going to comment much on the video. It looks fabricated, but I mean, there's no context to it. It's like it begins in media ray, ends in media ray. So I'm not going to really comment much on that. But let me tell you one thing: when these individuals talk about taking appointments from the CM, etc., they treat CM's house as if it's his khala ka ghar. I would like to quote Kabir with slight with slight modification. Kabira yah ghar administration का, खाला का घर नहीं, शीश उतारे भूई धरे तब बैठे घर माही. ये उनके एक अरविंद केजरीवाल के मौसी का घर नहीं है कि वो you and I are funding that house, that running of that house. Anybody, let alone an MP, anybody can enter the CM residence at their own free will. Yes, of course there is security concerns and all of that, but I don't think Swati Maliwal was a security concern, because clearly
Yeah.
the entire paraphernalia allowed Swati Maliwal to enter.
Okay,
So this
let me.
party saying that she has to follow
Yeah.
some protocol and all of that. Last I heard, this was Aam Aadmi Party and not Khas Aadmi Party, right? So everything in this
Let me
drama-
come in with just some thoughts. Let me come in with some thoughts. Got your point. Zakia and Abhijit and Ravi have been waiting patiently, so let's quickly go to them. Zakia, this video could have been released by the Aam Aadmi Party on the day that this allegation was made, right? I'm just using my common sense. They have made the video as the basis of, they're basically rejecting a woman's very detailed FIR on assault, on brutality, on her shirt being deliberately pulled up, which actually then qualifies as a sexual harassment complaint as well, on her being hit on her chest and pelvis. Now, the AAP could have released this video initially. Instead, they actually acknowledged कि बहुत गलत हुआ है, condemnable है, inquiry है. Then we saw Vivek Kumar traveling with Arvind Kejriwal when he arrived here, where I am, to Lucknow for a press conference. So I guess a lot of people in our audience are also asking कि अगर झूठ था तो आपने पहले क्यों नहीं बोला कि ये झूठ है? पहले क्यों माना कि सच है? आप क्यों बोल रहे हैं झूठ? What do you make of this? Because as Shubhrashtra said, my instinct, like hers, like yours, is to believe a woman. When a woman comes out in the public domain and says, I was beaten, I was hit, my shirt was deliberately pulled, it doesn't matter which party she's affiliated with, my instinct is to believe the woman. But the AAP has released this video to say that the video suggests otherwise. The question is, because everything is political in election season, the question is, why didn't the AAP just say so on the first day instead of saying something quite different? What do you make of it, Zakia?
So there are conflicting versions, and it appears that there is more than meets the eye. So the bottom line is that Swati Maliwal has complained about an assault, and the complaint should be taken seriously and it should be thoroughly investigated. That should be done. That's the bottom line. I want to make a larger point that, we have this sad reality in our country where violence against women is a fact of life. Be it assaults, be it rapes, be it mass rapes, gang rapes, sexual harassment, this is a fact of life. And the politicization of the incidents, which is invariably supposed to be to the advantage of the women. It is supposed to be providing protection to the women. It's supposed to build solidarity of women, cutting across party lines, cutting across ideologies, cutting across the left and the right. But it doesn't happen like that. It happens, the politicization happens in a very, very ugly way, such that the woman is put under a question mark. That is my problem. Because today it is Swati Maliwal. Yesterday it was the wrestler women. Earlier it was somebody else in UP. We have heard what has happened in Sandesh Khali. So it's an incessant kind of a phenomena in our country, where women are not safe, where women are not secure, and particularly women in public life. Women who are, those who are in social service, those who are in politics, those who are, interacting with so many people and are in very uncertain circumstances. So they are undergoing these kind of assaults, and instead of taking the woman's complaint on face value and investigating it, believing the woman, we are always, politicizing it to deny that the incident happened, or we are politicizing it to have a selective kind of an outrage. So I can very
I
well
think, I think,
understand up going back, doing flip flops, and I can also equally understand the sympathizers of BJP coming out very openly to support Swati. So this is the problem in our country, and the key issue about women's safety and security. Most political parties, and I'm sorry to say, most affiliates of political parties are really not serious about. And it will always, now it will become AAP versus BJP.
I
Swati
think
Maliwal
I think you made the critical point that people don't know what to believe, Abhijit, in a election season, right? Even those who instinctively believe or want to believe women do believe women. That's how we are conditioned. We're actually conditioned differently. We're conditioned to believe women all the time. And when I read the FIR, it was horrible to read. The FIR was just simply horrible with the level of detail that it talks about being slapped 7 times, being, the shirt being deliberately pulled up, being hit in the pelvis area. And then came this video. And there are contradictions. And I think Zakia is absolutely right that the noise that we make on a Prajwal Revanna, when I say we, I'm saying we loosely. I like to think I make equal noise for all. But Brij Bhushan, Prajwal Revanna, the women of Manipur, and now Swati Maliwal, it all seems to depend on people's political leanings. And how do we then begin to have an authentic conversation, a conversation with integrity, when everything is so filtered through the prism of politics? That's the larger point. But coming on the specifics of this, Abhijit, what's your take?
Thanks, Barkha. So I've generally been consistent on this. I think you can go through any of these studies that have come out, which show that, women also tend to lie almost as much as men. Women tend to be a lot less physically violent than men, but they tend to lie almost as much as men do. Which is why, when there are these hashtags that say believe her and things like that, I do not. I only believe the evidence. Unfortunately, that is not what Indian law is. Indian laws are extremely gynocentric. They place the burden of proof on the man, and it's basically a presumption of guilt if a woman accuses you. This is what happens in all cases: dowry, physical assault, etc., etc., etc. That said, it's very telling what has happened between Swati and Arvind Kejriwal and this Bibhavav chap. I think both you and I know a whole bunch of people who have told us in the past that Bibhavav has a long record of doing this. This isn't part of the public record, but we've been hearing this for what, the last 5, 6, 7 years about Bibhavav's behavior towards women, his acceptance of certain particularly nasty words, which I'm not going to use, his acceptance of physical assaults against women, etc., etc., etc. He doesn't do it, but he's been very accepting of it. And both Manish Sisodia and Arvind Kejriwal, when they've been complained to about these episodes, which we both know about, have been very accepting of it and refused to take action about it in the past. This is number one. Number two, did you notice Atishi had access to all the CCTV in the chief minister's house? She chose to show none of it. All she gave us was a statement. A statement isn't proof. That video proves nothing. It just shows a woman sitting in a sofa, so far unharmed. We can't even make out if she's completely unharmed because she's just sitting there. Physical bruises and things like that, you have to come up close to the camera and see that there's bruising or bleeding or whatever out there. Very frequently, bruising takes a good 2-3 hours to start showing up and so on and so forth. We don't know what part of the sequence this is in. The assault could have happened before this. The assault could have happened after this. It could have been a multi-pronged assault. Remember, she called up the police from the chief minister's house, not once but twice. The first time Kejriwal was accused, the second time he was not. To date, Not one person from the AAP has shown us any of the CCTV. They are the first people who have access to that CCTV across the entire house. There are many ways of extrapolating what happened. It doesn't, sure, you're not going to have CCTVs in the bedroom inside a chief minister's house and things like that. But there's many ways of extrapolating what happened inside, outside. None of that has been done. Third, I think we have to understand assault can be very traumatic. You take time and then go complain about it. It doesn't actually mean anything if you haven't complained about it immediately. Things take time to process. I have worked with assault victims in the past. True, not in India, with Aboriginal communities in Australia. And there, the assaults used to be grievous physical assaults, which used to take 3-4 days for the women just to process before they went and complained about it. So I'm not buying any of this. I would say, sure, I don't believe in gynocentric laws. I don't believe in hashtag believe her. That said, the AAP is not coming smelling of roses in this at all. They could have given us evidence, they did not. And then you have Sanjay Singh coming on record and admitting a one-sided narrative, which was Bibavav assaulted and used in his quote unquote abhadra shabd, abhadra cheezein hui इनके साथ स्वाति के साथ.
Right. But Abhijit, the larger debate will continue about political selectiveness or outrage selectiveness, and we'll come back to that. Ravi, you've been waiting patiently. Go ahead. You argued on Twitter that the case that Swati Maliwal has made isn't going to hold. What was your basis to say that?
Barkha, first of all, I did write it, and I can make out. And this is what when I wrote it, that time the video had not surfaced. Now video has surfaced. And the position Aam Aadmi Party has now taken is, I think, almost 180 degree what they had said earlier. As far as Sanjay Singh's statement is concerned, there was never a word assault. That is a narrative created by some motivated people. He said abhadrata, indecency and misbehavior. There is no mention of any kind of assault over there. Now, I come to the video. Just one part. I'm not saying that video is absolutely true. Let it go to the FSL for the analysis, and whether it is edited, doctored, whatever has happened will come out. But one part I can say is, she had already made one call to the PCR when she is sitting over there. And she is sitting with one leg over another, absolutely with ease, comfort, looking very aggressive and threatening people of the Delhi police only. Where Delhi police is only providing security at CM's office. Nowhere in the complaint or statement she has mentioned what was her purpose of going to the CM's house at 9 o'clock in the morning without having an appointment.
But why does
These
she
are
mention
all
that?
things.
She is a member of parliament going to meet her party leader. Why does she? Why are we there? I
No,
agree with Shubhrashtra. Why are we
no,
making
no,
so
no,
much
no,
about the fact
no,
that she
no.
went
You
without an
cannot,
appointment?
you cannot
Okay.
enter in the house of a chief minister without an appointment. She is not a family member. Yeah, one has to declare it, one has to take the appointment, and she has what AAP has said now. She threatened even the security at the gate for entering. She threatened the security while sitting in the drawing room. So what I want to say is that, and such cases, let me tell you very frankly, although 164 CRPC statement has already been made, so she cannot backtrack now. And now the whole thing, the evidence has to be produced to corroborate this whole episode. And there should be hard, incontrovertible evidence. It's not going on the word of mouth for complaint anyway. So this is the situation.
That part is true. It applies to both sides. Neither can the AAP have the final word on Swati Maliwal, nor can Swati Maliwal. The court of law will decide that. Both Abha and Shubhrashtra hands up. Abha, you wanted to add to this whole business about the emphasis on reaching the chief
Yeah.
minister's house without an appointment. Yeah.
I feel Sanjay Singh in the beginning, of course, did not talk of sexual harassment. He said abhadrta. That would be trying to give a message to her that, look, we are all one party. You are our MP in Rajya Sabha. So if we can patch up, trying to work it out that way. But now when she has taken opposite side, and so they have come out with the video. That could be one reason. Secondly, under the IPC, there is one section called 159, which is affray. If you remember, Preeti Zinta had put a sexual harassment case on Ness Wadia in the cricket stadium, and at that time I had said that it is a brawl and affray which you are giving a color of sexual assault. So we cannot say that it is our instinct to believe a woman. You have to go on facts. This is same Delhi police which did not write an FIR in Brij Bhushan. Brij Bhushan they did not write an FIR. So I will not go by what they have written. Evidence and facts have to be put forward.
Okay, your point about Brij Bhushan and the Delhi police not even opposing his bail is absolutely well taken. The point of them dragging their feet is absolutely well taken. I am with you on that. But this section, no one has called it a sexual assault. I just wanted to say that.
No, but the charge is Barkha 354D. Disrobing. 354.
Eight minute. I am saying till the FIR said that her shirt was deliberately raised, nobody had called it a sexual assault. It was being called as an assault, a physical assault, right? Today you are correct in saying that that charge has now been added because she has clearly said I was hit in my pelvis area and my shirt was deliberately raised. Now your point about Brij Bhushan is absolutely correct, and I want to take that to Shubhrashtra. The reason that everybody is so cynical, nobody knows what to believe, not even, women like us can come together and say we always stand with women is because elections hai. And there is a brazen selectiveness. The same police that went slow with Brij Bhushan, his son gets a ticket as a proxy for him. The same sort of system that drags its feet on bringing a Prajwal Revanna back from Germany. He's actually been accused of rape. And then to have more media outside Swati Maliwal's house than ever bothered to go to Manipur where women were raped. This is why people are cynical, Shubhrashtra, the selectiveness of it all.
Barkha, I am not here to ask the media or to expect the media to do anything which suits my politics. Why is media gathering at Arvind Kejriwal's house is a question that the Editors Guild should answer. I am not going to answer on that. My problem is with what Ravi Srivastava said. He said that drawing room ke andar ja karke bhi unhone kiya, gate par bhi kiya. My question to Ravi Srivastava is, if Swati Maliwal had come with the intent of disturbing the peace and quiet of the honorable chief minister's house, then why did the security at the gate allow her in the very first place? When she now being hailed as a public. Point number one. Point number two. You answer this question for me as a women professional yourself. Just because in case of or in case of Brij Bhushan, it happened according to some of some of the intellectual activists in this country. Should Swati Maliwal be denied swift justice?
I think let Ravi respond to that. Shubhrashtra's signal was weak, but I'm sure she'll come back. I think, Ravi, the point she was making was that if the whole emphasis is on the fact that she came without an appointment, then why let her in at all? And there are contradictions, and maybe Abha's right. Maybe the Aam Aadmi Party was trying to make peace, and that peace has broken, and now it's gone all guns blazing. But you're right in saying Sanjay Singh didn't use the word assault. You're right. But he didn't actually come out and say she was lying either.
See, Barkha, first thing is that why all these cases end up at the doorstep of the BJP? That nobody is responding. See, Prajwal Revanna, the BJP's ally, and the 2976 pen drive, etc., etc. We have got the issue of our Anand Bose, the governor at Calcutta, molested a lady who was working under his office. We have got Brij Bhushan Sarangi, we have got Kuldeep Singh Sengar, we have got Ram Rahim, we have got Chinmay Anand, whose case was withdrawn by the BJP only. Yeah, I can add one case of Congress from Rajasthan, right? But then why all cases end up with the BJP? And that's the reason I think Swati Maliwal made a very clear-cut statement on the Twitter that BJP should not do politics in this particular case. That is what I want to say, that why everything ends
Okay.
up, why the party of the rapists only? Why everything
Okay,
ends up at the doorstep of BJP?
okay. That's a big statement to call any one party the party of rapists. I think we should step back from that. I think you're right in saying Prajwal Ravanna is with the JDS, but yes, he's in alliance with the BJP, and I firmly believe that he should not have got a ticket to contest from Hassan. Brij Bhushan Saran, I certainly feel that has effectively got a ticket, even though the ticket has been given to his son. But let's not use these big generalizations calling any one party, whether the BJP, the AAP, or the Congress, a party of rapists. I think we trivialize rape when we talk like that, for no party. But Abhijit, on the point of selectiveness, I do hear Ravi's essence. Why haven't we seen the kind of noise? That doesn't mean that Swati doesn't have the right to tell her story, share her anguish, share her trauma, and have it be respected. But in election season, things do seem selective. Outrage does seem politicized. How do you respond to that?
But that is true throughout. I think everybody here is guilty of underplaying their own crimes within their own fold, and overplaying crimes that happen outside their fold. I don't know if it's overplaying or underplaying, but it's across the board. This is why right from the beginning I have always said this hashtag believe me never works. We have to take things on the merit of what is said. He brought up the case of Kuldeep Singh Sengar. Kuldeep Singh Sengar has actually been acquitted by the courts after a very long, it was a very long, nasty case, but he finally got acquitted by the courts. So, there is a problem out here where you simply cannot accept an accusation that is made without proof. We do that. All right. The problem lies with the jurisprudence. And mind you, the jurisprudence has come about. Why? Because of legislature. Right. We need to step back. There is a need to step back and take a very calm, calculated view of how crimes happen, the incentive to lie, the incentive to go after people, etc., 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 which we do not. And selectivity, it is going to happen. It is bound to happen. We've seen that selectivity happen right here, right now. Take, for example, Prajwal Ravanna. The letter that was sent, I've sent you that letter, Barkha, on WhatsApp. If you read it, you tell me, Barkha, reading it, would you take that letter seriously? It was one of those shoddy little letters which I've seen hundreds of knowing politicians, each of them accusing each other of lots of nonsense. Sexual nonsense. Most of it is sexual. There have been letters written against me like that, and I'm sitting there thinking, my God, if only this was true. This happens. This is very normal out here. What is the threshold to start taking these things seriously? I think the threshold was when the complaint went up to court with Prajwal Ravanna and no action was taken. Sure, a gag order was put, but did that prevent Bangalore police from actually proceeding with arrests and things like that? No, it did not. You tell me if a letter is sent to Amit Shah and Narendra Modi, saying Abhijit's done XYZ, their result's going to be, well, why do I need to respond to that? There has to be a threshold for these
one of the reasons that I don't call the Prajwal Ravanna tape sex scandal is because consensual sex outside of established relationships is nobody's business but that of consenting adults. But sexual assault, rape, positions of power abuse is a completely different business, and it is assault and rape in my book, right? And Prajwal Ravanna is cooling his heels. Prajwal Ravanna is cooling his heels in Germany.
Yes, exactly right. So and therein of the videos we have, if you go through them, two of them clearly show, even though there is no physical resistance, it has to be classified as rape. If a woman says no, no means no, you stop right there. Okay, it is rape, full stop. The rest of it was all consensual. Now, the problem with this letter is he has not made a case for rape. He has made a case of a sex scandal. Now, several people get caught up in sex scandals, and if it's consensual, there is no. I mean, if you're asking,
I think we agree on the distinction between a sex scandal and sexual violence. But I think now we know it very well to be sexual violence. I need to bring in Raviji. Please hold on. I need to bring in Zakia because she's been waiting very politely, and then Shubhrashtra, and then we'll take last comments. Let's come back and agree in a rational way. What should happen now in this case? There is an allegation of assault, and there is a counter allegation of fabrication. That is where we stand right now as of today, right? Now, Zakia, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so Swati Maliwal's complaint should be thoroughly investigated, and it should be done impartially, which is perhaps too much to ask, because I agree with Abha, the kind of promptness that has been displayed by the Delhi police here, it has been missing so far. But having said that, this is the police setup that we have. So it should be thoroughly investigated, and Aam Aadmi Party is responsible to provide the explanation and take action if the man is found guilty. That it is as simple as that. But I know when I say it like this, it may sound naive because nobody is going to believe it that it's going to be as simple as that. It's going to be politicized till the election lasts. And once the elections are over, most people are going to forget about it, Barkha. That is the sad part of it. So it's violence against women is a shame for our society. It makes all these talk of culture and civilization, it makes it all sound hollow. And it's a collective failure of our political class that any time a woman comes forward and talks about, that she is being assaulted, we politicize it in a very, very crass, crude manner. And the woman is put under question mark, and such that the whole thing lacks it lacks any kind of seriousness of approach. So all I can say is that yes, that is how that is the way this case will also go. Nobody will want to discuss about it after the elections.
I mean, it's cynical,
but yeah.
You're cynical, but you're probably correct. Ravi, last comments? Yeah.
Barkha, what I want to say is that what my co-panelist said just now, and then asking the Delhi police to be very, very impartial, I think this is not going to happen. Because the same Delhi police, which has got all the resources at their disposal, in 96 hours, did not show any picture of Swati Maliwal walking out of the house of the CM or going to the police station, civil lines, where she had gone to make a complaint. Every police station has got a CCTV. They can always put it before the public the way they posted that, 112 PCR call, which there was a shoddy one. I don't know, some 8th fail constable must have recorded it because the all 4 lines were contradicting each other. So this is how Delhi police works. And that Swati Maliwal went to the police station. What was her condition? Was that clothes were torn? Was she had a blood oozing out of her head, or any kind of trauma or any kind of problem happening? Nobody said anything.
No, Raviji, I have to disagree on that last bit.
So why
I'll tell you why.
Delhi police can show it.
Let me respond in a general way. I don't know about Swati Maliwal, but we can't judge the trauma of survivors of sexual violence or physical violence by whether they wear it on their face or whether their clothes are torn. This is a very old way of thinking. People can take time to even internalize what has happened to them. They also feel the need to appear strong. They react in all kinds of ways. I am not making a point about any one case. I am saying tomorrow somebody could say, why is Sakshi Malik smiling when she is making this allegation against Brij Bhushan? This is a very dangerous line to walk. Let's not walk it. The rest of your points are well taken, that you don't trust the police process. Shubhrashtra, why should we trust the police process when it seems to be politically
Thank you.
selective?
I have other channel, please.
Okay.
Thank you very
much. All right. Thanks, Raviji. Shubhrashtra.
We need to trust the police process because we are in a democracy. We are not in a jungle. And if we do not trust the police process, then what are we left with? You may have a cynical approach. You may want to believe, and rightfully so, that certain cases are politicized, certain are not. But that's how this. I mean, I agree with Zakia on the larger point that she made about understanding how our system works. Unfortunately, this is how this is how politics, democracy, administration works in a complicated space, not just in India but everywhere. Now, my question is the point where I think the network conked off was this, Barkha. I want to ask this to you or to anybody sitting here. Just because the Delhi police is being quote unquote extra prompt on this issue, should Swati Maliwal be denied justice?
Okay, let
I'm
me
not
take that
taking
to
a
Abha.
stand for her or against her. I'm just asking a basic, simple question.
I think it's a fair question, Abha. Abha, I want you to come in as someone
But
you,
if she's put
Zakia.
fake charges, then action needs to be taken. A false FIR complaint should be also
But who's going to decide this? It can't be
The
decided right
judiciary
now,
is there.
no.
Barkha, the courts are there. You can see the courts finally are waking up and coming with strong judgments. Even on ED today, Supreme Court has given a very strong judgment. And if she says her dress was torn or the button broke, then the CCTV camera of Civil Lines Police Station would have caught that picture, and that unshoveled, disheveled look will be investigated. And when it comes to the court, the magistrate is going to ask questions.
Okay, these are classic things that never get resolved. You know, remember the Tarun Tejpal case? This was debated endlessly. What happened inside the lift? The girl walked out, the survivor walked out, she didn't look disabled, she didn't look upset, right? So, I don't know, I'm not very comfortable with looking for whether women look traumatized. I think there has to be a different way, Abha, with respect. Don't you agree? Before I give Abhijit the last word. Abha?
She went to the police station. I am with her if offense has happened. But going out 13 to the police station and not lodging an FIR, but going out, I'm being the devil's advocate. But this at the time of trial will stand against her that you went. But you went back because you wanted to negotiate something with the party and your negotiation did not happen. So on 16th you came. I'm just being the devil's advocate.
Okay. Abhijit, I think there are questions. You yourself on Twitter said, or X, whatever it's called now, said, there are questions. There are questions. And we can't resolve the answers to those questions. We can only uphold the principles we believe in, which is that we know that women are subjected to violence quite often, that it's difficult for women to talk about it, that there are often delayed responses to acknowledging trauma in public. But we also know that politics is not far from anything that happens in this country, and that applies across the board. So, a last thought as we close.
Barkha, I don't have any good answer for this because this happens everywhere. If Hunter Biden's son does something, it all gets pushed under the carpet. If Trump does something, it's all major scandal, etc., etc. We've seen this. This is a global phenomenon. With social media, you can't avoid it. It is going to be hyper partisan. It actually encourages partisanship. There's nothing we can do. I think the only thing you can, in a discussion like this, is to focus on the jurisprudence, to focus on holes in the case or holes in the response to the case. So in this particular case, I've not heard any interesting holes, but I'm just still very surprised as to why the AAP hasn't come out with the CCTV evidence, because it was there available to them right there at the touch of a fingertip. These days, retrieving CCTV evidence is something like that.
Okay, we can't be forensic scientists. We are simply journalists and observers. We're looking at everything that we're observing, and it's changing. The Aam Aadmi Party has changed its own position. Abha believes that it may have been trying to settle the matter internally at first, and that's Sanjay saying, Ravi said, never use the word assault. Shubhrashtra and Zakia come from a different perspective. We believe women. If a woman alleges assault, sexual or physical, it has to be investigated in a rational way, in a legal way, in a lawful way with respect. But Abhijit says that you can't always assume that women, by virtue of women being women, tell the truth necessarily, among the other arguments you made. It's all very complex, it's all very disturbing. We didn't even get to discussing the politics of it. I just want to end with the thought that the Chief Minister is out on bail for 21 days. And to be, have his party be in a way devoured by this entire swirl could not be the best way for him to spend his time out on bail. But that said, it will be very now important to see what Swati Maliwal does next. She has reported a statement before a magistrate. So now it is up to the court to have the final say on this, not the tutu meh between the AAP and Swati Maliwal that has clearly disowned its own member of parliament. Leaving it there, thank you, Abhijit, Shubhrashtra, Zakia, Abha Singh, and earlier to Ravi. And thank you to our audience for watching. We sign off on another edition of the Dhabas of Democracy. Sorry for the occasional technical problems in our broadcast, but we are actually broadcasting from very remote places as we travel across India. Thank you for watching. See you soon.
We're at the Indian mainland's southernmost tip in Kanyakumari, the confluence of the Bay of Bengal, the Arabian Sea and the Indian Ocean. It is from here that we're beginning our big road trip to the heart and the soul of India, Dhabas of Democracy. That's all about traveling thousands of kilometers to look at the food, the fun, the festivity, the flavors of this election, but also, of course, to tell the stories of you the people, of we the people. At Mojo Story, we have always gone to where the story is. It could be the battlefields of Israel and Gaza, it could be the conflict zone of Manipur, or it could be the sorrow and the tragedy of COVID. We think of all of you as members of our community, of our family. So, I'm urging you and requesting you today to help us tell your stories and our stories. So do become a Mojo member. Support and power our storytelling, but also get first access to our big interviews, our special ground reports, our town halls, and also have the opportunity to ask our newsmakers questions directly, as well as get published on our platform.